The murder that occurred in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Thinking back, everything began on that fateful day 2 days ago. 2 days earlier. Edgeworth is dead! Edgeworth is fine! Maybe. I don't really know what's going on. Airplanes! Yes, everything began high up in the air. 9,000 feet in the air, to be precise. Thank you for flying iFly Airlines. We are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We are asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seat belts. That seems a lot more than slight turbulence, if I'm being honest. Okay, that one might be blood. For real though, you okay, Edgeworth? March 12th, 6:13 a.m. Wait, why you on an airplane so dang early in the morning? Good lord. Flight I-390, first floor lounge. This plane has floors, excuse me? Gotta shake some of that loose there, I guess. Are you okay, my dude? Why do I feel like I just woke up from a horrible nightmare? 6:13, huh? Guess I was out cold for about 10 minutes. Slight turbulence indeed. Oh, because it's like an earthquake and he doesn't do good with those. That's fair. Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. That is a lie and you know it. That is a lot of turbulence. For your safety, we ask that you return to your seats and fasten your seat belts. I suppose turbulence is to be expected on a flight, although I've never understood exactly what it is that causes turbulence in a flight. Though, admittedly, I'm less than comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Ugh, that's rough. What's this? A travel wallet? But it's not mine. How did someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket? Ugh, my head. I want this headache go away. He needs some aspirin! I'll take care of this travel wallet later. Or hand it off to an attendant. Whatever comes first. From earthquake-like turbulence to an elevator. That is deeply unfortunate for Edgeworth. Those are like the two things on the planet he has issues with. He seems to be stealing himself. What am I doing hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still but a young child. I guess in case you didn't play the earlier Phoenix Wright games, I was caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. But how long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I need to behave like one. Oh, there is definitely 100% about to be a corpse in that elevator. Yep! But what the? What in the world happened? Is there something wrong, sir? I must ask that you please return to your seat. Ah! He's dead! Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusions without all the facts. What's wrong? Did something happen? Oh, there's a rabble-rousing. You murderer! What? No! You have it all wrong. It wasn't me. It was totally him. Who else could it have possibly been? It wasn't Edgeworth. He's not a murdering type. All right, so what just happened? Everyone, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. There has been, in fact, a murder, and we should all start panicking very aggressively. I am one of your flight attendants today, Rhoda Tenero? I don't know, but I'm gonna stick with just calling you Rhoda. I almost called you Rhonda, but there is no N in that. Unfortunately, we have just had a minor accident on this flight. An accident? Don't treat us like we're stupid. I caught a glimpse and it was a murder. What? Murder? What's going on with this flight? Everyone please calm down. There's no reason to panic except for the fact that there is a murderer on the plane right now. This flight will stay on course and make its scheduled landing. We're still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. So until we are out of this area of turbulence, I must ask that you please remain seated. But someone was killed, right? I mean, what about the killer? Let me off. Please, there is no need to feel threatened other than by the murderer who will murder you. We have already apprehended the culprit. But that's not the culprit, that's Edgeworth. That's the opposite of a culprit. I ask that everyone please remain calm. What the heck is he talking about? Why should we remain calm? My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a prosecutor, and I assure you I am not the killer. That sounds like something a killer would say. Ha! Being a prosecutor doesn't make you incapable of murder, buddy. I mean, that is a very good point. Now, you listen here. I am not the killer. I simply found the body. There's a very large difference. So you say. However, I am sure that you are the perpetrator of this crime. What makes you so sure, flight attendant? I swear on my honor as a professional flight attendant. I was unaware that there was a great deal of honor associated with that line of work, but okay. Oh, is that right? I know what I saw, and what I saw was murder, and you standing next to a murder, so you must be the murderer. And there's even very strong incriminating evidence to back me up. What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about? We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Until we land, you will remain in our custody by the powers vested in our captain, which admittedly is not much of anything. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation. Your situation? I'm more concerned with mine and the direction it's going in. I'm not about to just sit idly by while I get accused of murder again. Miss Rhoda, is it? Yes. Okay, well, first and foremost, how on earth does your hair work? It looks like it's made of cubes. You see that behind her? What is that about? I was wondering if you might give me a chance. A chance? To do what? More murder? A chance to plead my case? And a chance to ask what you meant by incriminating evidence just now? I'd very much like to know. I don't know. You're probably a murder man. To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him to give a proper defense? Can the professional flight attendant inside of you really call this action righteous? You have a point. I may be willing to let you murder again. Very well. I'll listen to what you have to say. But be wary of what you reveal. I'm afraid you'll only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I also do not have the time to deal with you all day, so please make it quick. Of course. As you wish. Good. Very well then. Let's get started. I know for a fact that I didn't kill that man in the elevator unless when I passed out I had an alternate personality take hold, but I feel like that would have come up at least once before in the story, or, the entire series if that were a thing, so, yeah, probably not. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve, but I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred. It's time to figure all this nonsense out! Alright, what did you see? What did you see? What makes you so dang confident that I'm a murder man? I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant, which is historically known for always telling the truth, I guess. I'm not 100% sure what her deal is with that. Also, cube hair! Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I am certain you are the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator. It was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off of the murder weapon. So if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land. Okay, well, I'm already seeing some kind of issues here. That's it? That's her evidence? I don't think you could ask for a more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it. Good lord, it's like a wet paper towel. You ain't gonna be able to accomplish much of anything with that noise. All right, then. So just throwing this right out the gate is the, I assume I have it on my person, yes? I do, okay. I should look at everything I've got. Got my prosecutor's badge. Picked up off the floor in front of the elevator. It isn't mine, so whose is it? Apparently, this is what she considers a murder weapon. I know that... Okay. I have long since been of the opinion that literally any object known to Earth could be used as a murder weapon if you used it properly. However, I'm willing to bet that in this particular instance, not so much. Like, do we even know what happened to him? Body found at 6:15 a.m. inside the elevator, stopped at the first floor lounge. Okay, I can look. Okay, I can only sort of vaguely get the impression that I think he got, like, I think that's blood on the back of his head. I can't tell much more than that, but that would imply some kind of clubbing. And if that were the case, I don't think you could do that with a travel wallet. Also, a Sky magazine? Detail meals, movies, and other services inside. Check, all right, for details. Flight itinerary for meals, drinks, and movie. All times correspond to our departure time zone. Well, obviously this is going to play a role in something. It might be playing Die Hard, I'm not 100% sure. All right, anyway, okay, so, as my theory is already rather correct, all right, the scene I saw in front of the elevator, it was me standing there with fresh blood dripping off the murder weapon. All right, so this murder weapon, what appears to be a cloth wallet, unless I jammed it down his throat, I don't see how this could have been used in the way that you think it was used. Miss Rhoda! What is with all the yelling all of a sudden? Ah, force of habit. In the court of law, you must scream all of your words. That way people in the back can hear. Well, it doesn't matter. Miss Rhoda, you say you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood. Is that correct? Yes, all that blood. Drip, drip, drip. Chicken fat, chicken fat. Just recalling that scene sends a chill down my spine. Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you. I'd like to direct your attention to this. I think his arms are restrained, so I'm not sure how he's doing this, but all right. Do you know what this is? It's a travel wallet, right? But it looks a little big and bulky. The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Miss Rhoda. Impossible! Now then, do you still think I am the killer? That I killed him with a travel wallet? I saw blood dripping from the wallet. I know I did. As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained. But if you would be so kind as to take a whiff, I think you'd agree it's only... Oh, right, grape juice. Yeah, all right. They say grape juice. They never just say wine in this. Then, that's right. You mistook grape juice for blood, like a fool. The murder weapon dripping with blood does not, in fact, exist. There. That should clear up that pesky accusation. But wait just a sec. That is... I mean, even a wallet could be deadly if it was wrapped around something heavy. Okay, that actually is mildly fair. I demand that you show me what's inside. Please. How do I do without hands? She's trembling, and that tacked on please at the end. Sounds like I've got her. There's no need to look inside. Even you can tell from its appearance that it's light. No, I can't be sure of anything until I see the contents of the wallet for myself. She's a persistent one. I suppose we have no choice but to see what's inside. Miss Rhoda, if you would be so kind as to open the wallet and check its contents for me, what with the whole not using my hands thing? All right. I usually don't pry into passengers' belongings, but we have no choice here. Alrighty. Do we just... Paku? Like that? Hey, there you go. Seems that this passport is all that's in there. As you saw, there's nothing but a passport inside. This renders your wallet was the murder weapon argument moot. Wouldn't you agree? Why are you holding it? I assure you that I am in fact correct. Please hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it now? Well, I was wondering, whose passport is it exactly? Can I take a look? Why not? I'm rather curious myself. Oh, that definitely looks like the person who done got himself all murdered. This is just as I thought. This travel wallet belonged to Mr. Ackby Hicks, which makes it the victim's property. And it was found in Edgeworth's person for some reason. All right, gonna have to navigate that mess. You stole the victim's wallet, didn't you? How dare you? I'm pretty sure that Edgeworth makes a good enough living that he doesn't actually have to do such a thing. You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you. That is a good point, admittedly. Perhaps I did misconstrue the wallet for the murder weapon, but it seems that I wasn't wrong about who the culprit is. All right, let's see. What do we got going on here? All right, what's your next step of logic? As you claimed, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks' money, weren't you? Okay, so I only just saw it for a moment, but again, correct me if I'm wrong, and I very easily could be, but didn't I see... Yeah, a bunch of money on the floor. Okay. So, even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me, I see. You stood up at the crime scene with the victim's wallet in your hands. How could I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play? That's a nervous little twitch I'm noticing. All right. I mean, I can't say that she doesn't have some validity with her assessment, but the answer is still a big honkin' no. However, it is something you stole. Yeah, okay, sure, I definitely did that. I don't know how it ended up in his not in his pocket, but I mean, regardless of that fact, if that is your line of logic, then I must say the nay. Objection! I wonder if I might get a word in, Miss Rhoda. What is it now? Miss Rhoda, I wonder if you noticed the contradiction with your testimony. What are you talking about? It's simply impossible that the motive for this murder was monetary theft. One glance at the crime scene should have told you that. What about this scene would prove that the motive for the murder was not the money? All of the freaking money all over the dang floor. Come on now. If I may direct your attention to the things strewn all over the floor. That's right. The floor is covered in bills and coinage. By your rationale, these were the very things the killer was after. I think we can assume that the wallet fell during the victim's struggle with his killer. And I would think that the killer would have noticed something like money scattering everywhere. Furthermore, as you can see, there was no effort made by the killer to gather the money. But the wallet. Ah, yes, the wallet. You will also recall that the only thing in it was Mr. Hicks' passport. If you were really insisting that it was a crime based on greed, then you're claiming that it was all for an empty travel wallet. Because to the best of my knowledge, you can't do much of literally anything with someone else's passport. Oh, forgive me! Please. Aw, she's very scared. I mean, I can't get upset with her. Hey, what the heck? Are you saying the attendant's wrong? So that guy isn't the killer? Ah, don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick. A tricky track. I don't even know what I was trying to say there. Will you all please be quiet? Miss Rhoda. Yes? You lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus, the lounge was dark and looking into the light from the elevator. It's easy to see how you mistook the wallet in my hand for the murder weapon. I take no offense that you thought that I was the killer. Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you for releasing me. Freedom! Oh, God! Someone is screaming in wingdings! But what is it now? What the hell is this business? Oh. Okay. I've never known someone to speak such a language. Miss Rhoda, if you could please translate, I'd be much obliged. It sounds like Borginian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on the flight who... I said that he is giving the runabout! Okay, bilingual angry fat man. With bad clothing. I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just well, see? You, the attendant. Yes, sir. I want this person to be under the arrest until we arrive at the airport. Okay, do you have anything vaguely resembling a reason for that, or what? I'm sorry, sir, but what exactly are you hoping for? What is it you want? I am finished talking to the likes of you. Please, I would like to hear why you would like me to be held under arrest until we land. You! How dare you try to waste my time? You were the one who stuck your nose into my affairs. I wanted to spend even at least one more second with my precious art. I have no time for other things. I know what you are. I see through you, like pantyhose. Insolvent. Insolvent? Yes, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it in English. No. Well, I hope that I don't dissolve in water, but I don't think that's what you meant. I'm sorry, but I don't think I caught your name. I am Zinc LeBlanc II. I am a very wealthy man in the Borginia. But I am not an ordinary rich man. If I were a rich man, oi, 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 I am an art dealer, a rich seller of beauty. Mr. LeBlanc, what did you mean just now? Pardon? When you said that Mr. Edgeworth was giving me the runabout, I have to explain? Unbelievable. I will say it once and only once. I do not have even a second to waste. Time is money, as they say. You've wasted like 40 seconds. Yes, and yet you continue to blather on. Thank you. I saw it. Yes, I did. I saw the victim go onto the elevator, going down to the lounge. I'm still kind of confused by this airplane having an elevator in it. It was exactly at 6 o'clock. Okay. And what's the significance of that time? At 6, he says. Wait, you saw him at 6? What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? He understands, I see. I'm glad he does. Miss Attendant, what time did you discover the body? Well, it was a little after that patch of turbulence, so I would say around 6:50. Hicks was his name, was it? Then I say that man Hicks was killed in the 15-minute time span. And the only person in the lounge at the time was the prosecutor, yes? That appears to be accurate information? Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time. Me too. I was watching the movie and enjoying a fine glass of grape juice. Thanks, 4 kids. I was still eating. Still haven't finished. See? The other passengers have an alibi, so you have no problem with them, I suppose. No complaint, I see. Not a single word against this, right? I have no way of discounting what you have put forth at this point, but it wasn't me. Oh, so you say. But do you have what you say, the evidence? Mr. Edgeworth, are you really the culprit after all? Mr. LeBlanc, I suppose you are quite certain in what you saw? Enough to give a testimonial? Of course! I was looking at the man the whole time. He was playing with that annoying little, small machine the whole time. Machine? Yes, that's what you people call it in English, yes? It was making me crazy with the click, click, click. From that description, it sounds like some sort of small computer. I believe what Mr. LeBlanc is talking about is a cell phone. And I have to say that I did see him playing with it quite a bit myself. A simple cell phone? A laptop or organizer I can see, but that's kind of low budget. I hate that noisy little machine in his hand, so I murdered him for it! I don't know. That's just going to be my currently going assumption until something better comes up. Not a fragment of beauty. All it produces is ugly sounds. Anyway, I know what I saw. I mean, you're also very adamant that I did it, so... Miss Rhoda, yes? I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene. What? You want to examine the crime scene? But it's full of corpse! If it would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprits. I don't like the sound of that. Fox in the duck pen. Yes, I think that is how you say it in English. It's Fox guarding the hen house, and I believe my innocence was proven earlier. And if I'm given the chance, I can clear up all of the remaining doubts. Miss Rhoda, if you wait until we arrive, there's a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then. Do you want that on your conscience, flight attendant lady? I understand. Let me see what the captain has to say. Ha! This should not be approved. Please, Mr. LeBlanc, in an emergency, all decisions are to be made by the captain alone. Now, please wait here while I go ask the captain what to do. I'll be right back. Off she scuttles. You are not planning to erase evidence when you are doing your investigation, yes? Of course not. We will see. That was a quick conversation. Mr. Edgeworth, you have the captain's permission to investigate the crime scene. Unbelievable! I am in your debt, Miss Rhoda. However, there is one condition. I am to supervise you. Can you agree to that? Of course. I see no problem with that stipulation. It's only natural, as I am still a suspect in this case. I take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgeworth's every move. I hope this is reassurance enough that there will be no foul play. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, shall we proceed? If you should need my help with anything, please feel free to touch the partner button. You're my partner for this? Oh, that's neat. It's time to head to the scene of the crime, the first floor lounge. I mean, I guess there's nothing stopping a plane from having more than one floor. It's just something I am definitely not used to ever seeing or even hearing about. Oh, can I inspect that poster? I can! It's a movie poster for License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder. That's an iFly Airlines sponsored movie. It's a suspense, hard-boiled action, romance, horror, comedy movie. Is that the genre listing for this movie? Yes, it's a movie that can be enjoyed by anyone because it encompasses all those genres. Either that or it tries to be many things and fails to be any of them. I can't even begin to imagine what the plot of this movie would be like. But you have to admit, it has piqued your curiosity, right? I heard the main strategy with this genre listing was to make people curious. Well, then consider the mission a successful one. I admit to not knowing entirely exactly what the hell that's supposed to be about, but there you go. Also, hello, are you another attendant? Also, are you sleepy? Hello. Excuse me, but may I have a word with you? You there. Yeah. If you need something, please ask Miss Rhoda over there, okay? What the? Hey, wake up, you! I'm terribly sorry that she's being so rude, Mr. Edgeworth. No need for you to apologize. I just find it hard to believe she's asleep on the job. Standing up, no less. If I were her boss, I'd see to it that her salary was cut so low that it was in the red. Yeah, that does seem to be what you do. Also, Vittles! How did you find your meal to be, Mr. Edgeworth? Come to think of it, I forgot all about it. I must have been asleep or something. Oh, well, I'm terribly sorry. Let me prepare you something right away. What are you apologizing for, Miss Rhoda? I failed in my professional duties by letting a passenger go hungry. Please help yourself. If you see anything to your fancy, feel free. I think I'll take my time later after I've solved this case, thanks. Still, it was nice of her to at least consider the thought. So, are you in need of assistance? I don't know. Am I? Miss Rhoda, I'd like to ask you about investigating the lounge. As long as you have the captain's permission, I can't stop you from looking around. If you could pass a message along, tell him I'm grateful for his spirit of cooperation. I will. However, please realize that you are still under suspicion. To be honest, I still have my doubts about you. Of course, I take no offense. Do you really understand what I'm saying? Yes, verily. I'm an incredibly intelligent person. I cannot stress that enough. Do you pinky swear on your honor as a professional prosecutor? I pinky swear I do on my honor as a professional prosecutor. Well, I guess that settles that. I feel my honor as a man slowly diminishing. There's nothing unmanly about a pinky promise. Come on now, you don't gotta be all rude about it, Edgeworth. It's the ultimate sign of trust and promise making. Hurry up and investigate. Time should not be wasted. Precious is human time, is how you say it, I believe. Sure, let's say that it is. All right then, anything going on over here? Oh, that's right, I was in the middle of recreating a chess game. That seems to be kind of your hobby. Just an observation, but aren't there too many red knights around that lone blue pawn? Nonsense, it simply shows that the blue pawn is no match for the red knight's might. Even when he's not even around, Edgeworth constantly feels he needs to show his superiority. Fascinating, that. Don't get near me, you criminal. He said don't get near me, you criminal. I'm not the killer, and I intend to prove that starting now. That's contrary to the facts. He says, but that's contrary to the facts. I can understand his English just fine, thank you very much. Jeezums. Like I need that mess. Hey, miss, how about another glass? Excuse me, but I was wondering if you know anything about the murder. How about it? How about a glass together? Oh, sorry, but I must decline. Ha! I wasn't talking to you. I was asking the cute attendant. I'm sorry, but I'm on the clock right now. Edgeworth is so offended. But if you need a refill, I'd be happy to bring you another glass at any time. Don't call her toots. That's not how to talk. That's no way to talk to a lady. See, Edgeworth gets it. I feel like I'm not gonna get any information out of any of these dudes. That's a lot of food. If I may have a word with you. This steak, so awesome. Yeah, that's great to hear. However, I would like to ask you a few questions. I was here the whole time, so wouldn't know. Eat or speak, please pick one. Intense munching proceeds. I think he chose to eat. Yes, I can hear that, which makes it probably the most disgusting noise ever. All right then, well, seeing as how literally everybody around you— oh wait, was this his thing? This was Mr. Hicks's seat. I don't see the machine Mr. LeBlanc was talking about. Perhaps it's in the elevator? Maybe. We should probably head down to the crime scene. That makes sense to me. Can we use the elevator, or— it doesn't seem— oh, I can. In order to preserve the crime scene, I'm afraid the elevator is not in service. To get to the first floor lounge, we should take the stairs. Oh. Okay, so not only does this place have an elevator, it has stairs? That's just weird to me, but okay. All right, sure. Why not? What's all this, then? I want to thank you for your help back there, Miss Rhoda. It was nothing. You should thank the captain for granting you permission. And just so everything is perfectly clear, I still don't trust you to that extent. I don't want you to think your standing with me has changed. I see. I'll bear that in mind. I received an order from the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that we reserve the right to stop your investigation if we feel you're not making progress. And when we do, he asks that you please return to your seat at that time. So my time runs out at his and his crew's discretion, does it? I have to find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before time's up. I understand. By the way, is there any place you can think of where the killer might hide on board? I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for at his or her seats, we made a thorough search on the plane. As for business and economy class, well, no one can move between those two classes, and first class without a staff keycard. And we found no record of a keycard being used at all. Okay, so this does have lower branches to it. This is the fanciest of the sections, and nobody other than the people who have been here can get here. All right, I get it. Which means that I have a first-class killer on my hands. At least I know that much for sure. That is actually incredibly useful information. And one other thing, no one else has been allowed near the crime scene since the murder was discovered either. Well, that's always good. We could probably get some stuff done that way. Now then, let's get started. Where should we start from? Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statements. The crime occurred between 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. During that interval, the only person in the lounge was myself, which would make me the prime suspect. However, since I did not kill Mr. Hicks, it would mean that the killer was around somewhere. Alright, that makes sense, that makes sense. If we are to believe what you say is true, then yes. The first order of business will be to gather information to win your trust. Alright, let's get ourselves some information up in here. What say thee? Are you in need of assistance? Nay, I do not. Or am I? Hang on, let me see something really quick here. Do I have anything worth presenting to you? Like, I don't know, do you know anything specifically? Even if you show that to me, I still cannot allow you free reign. I'm sorry, but I must admit that I still have my doubts about you. Guilty until proven innocent, I see. All right, then, noted. All right, I know this has nothing to do with anything, but you mind telling me what the deal is with these statues? What or who is this? This is a bronze statue of the founder of iFly Airlines, Mr. Hugo iFly. His name is actually iFly? Sheesh. The one on the left is of when he was in his 40s, and the other is of him in his 80s. Wow, all right. Did the man actually age in the span of 4 decades? Maybe I need to squint more. Or maybe it's just an incredibly flattering statue on the right or an unflattering one on the left? Maybe the sculptor was just really lazy. There are a lot of options. Also, yeah, all right. So, oh, hey-oh, footprints. There's some spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. Grape juice, I swear. I assume it was spilled during the turbulence. We must clean that up or someone might get hurt. Ah! What is it? Actually, hang on. Not only are there footprints, there seem to be some kind of other tracks? I'm not sure what would do that, though. I found some very important evidence. What is this important piece of evidence in the scene? I'll go with the thing that I can actually identify. Friggin' footprints! Well, what is it? They're a little smudged, but I think we can both agree they are a set of footprintios. What you gonna say about that? So you think, yes, these belong to our killer. Oh, then maybe we should check the shoe sizes of everyone in first class. I don't think that'll be of any help to us. Unfortunately, the prints are too smudged, which will make it hard to get a definitive match. There was also this weird white-haired guy who ran in and stole everyone's shoes, so even if we wanted to do that, he ain't giving a mac. All right, then. Can I examine that again, though? Spilled grape juice in a pool at my feet. Unfortunately, the delightful scent of grapes is obscured by the unpleasant smell of the crime scene. The scent in the air. It's the same smell as the smell of my towels after they come out of my home dryer. Your towels smell like blood? I would have never expected something like that by looking at you. suppose everyone has something unpleasant about them. For her, it's very rank-ass smelling towels. All right, but can I... that's not what I wanted. Organizer, can I... No, I wanted to look at the thing again. All right, and fine. What floors does this elevator service? Only the first and second, although it can also go down to the cargo hold. However, that requires a flight crew keycard. So the only floors accessible to passengers are the first and second, huh? Make a sense to me. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. All right, can we maybe get a, an actual definitive sign on whether or not he was actually Kabonka-dude on the back of the head? I wonder what was hanging off of that lanyard. That's not what I was really going for, but okay. Something's missing from this picture. Now, if I could just put my finger on it. Okay, that's cool and all. Can I look at the body in general, please? I doubt anyone was expecting to find a dead body in an elevator on this flight. Or any flight. Or any elevator. I don't think anybody ever expects there to be a dead body in an elevator. So, Mr. Hex, he's really dead? Yes. She's trembling, though I can't fault her for that when there's a corpse right there. Tragically, I'm somewhat desensitized to the whole situation, which is not great. Perhaps I should see a therapist! Mr. Hicks, if you're really dead, then please answer yes. I see she's over the trembling now, although a new symptom seems to have appeared. Anyway, I should focus on the victim's body. Let's see. There's blood on the back of Mr. Hicks' head. Could this be the cause of death? He appears to have been struck very hard. Wound on the back of Hicks' head suggests blunt force trauma. But what could have caused it? That's a good question. Even his glasses are broken. Ooh. Wait, he got hit in the head, the back of the head so hard his glasses broke? How does that work? That clearly doesn't seem very... No, I don't, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that don't make a whole lot of sense. I'm just throwing that out there. But all right, what else we got here? I see something that looks like it might be able to bludgeon someone. What is this sinister looking figure on the floor here? Oh, that's a piggy bank of our company mascot, Mr. iFly. It's just one of the many pieces of merchandise we sell at our in-flight shop. You have an in-flight shop? This bank is a limited edition and is so popular that we're down to our last one. You have an in-flight shop? Yes, it's just beyond the lounge to the right. The shutter to the store is closed at the moment, but it was open the whole flight up until Mr. Hicks's body was discovered. There's blood on here. Could this have been the murder weapon? It seems conceivable. All right. What else? Maybe actually look at the money itself. Money is strewn all over the floor of the elevator. And I would guess it was all in Mr. Hicks's wallet at some point. All right. What about this? Nope, same thing. All right, that technically counts as money. Like, I'm guessing those are like credit cards, which count as money. Okay. Is that like a napkin? A note? Or something sticking out of his pocket? Hope he won't mind if I take a look at what's inside. It's a picture. Looks like it was taken inside a building somewhere. That's a big freaky deaky statue you got there. Also, apparently the lanyard carried... I'm not even sure what that is. Although I have new evidence, that's always good. What is that object? Interesting. Oh! Okay, well, I mean, whatever it is, I can clearly deduce now, at least. Deduce! Is this thought somehow connected to the evidence? I don't know what it is that's attached to this thing, but whatever it is, it's gone now, which implies that it got yoinked. Eureka! Mr. Hicks's machine is nowhere to be found. His machine? His cell phone, Miss Rhoda. Oh, so I guess because it's not here, yes, I think we can safely deduce that the killer took it. All right, that's good to know. Alrighty. Is there anything left to figure out around these here parts, though? Not sure. Okay. Can't look at that again. How am I doing on my logic? Okay, well, I've got lots of pieces. I'm sure some of this stuff could get connected. Okay. Where was the killer? Well, I feel like the only understandable thing that would make any sense to me would be that the killer would have to have been inside the elevator with the victim. Hence the, you know, the footprint stuff. That's my current running theory. True, there wasn't anyone else in the lounge other than myself right before the turbulence. But if the killer was in the elevator along with the victim, then that's a different story. That makes a lot of sense to me. On top of that, we've got blunt force trauma and a bloody piggy bank. Seems pretty clear-cut to me. A statue with blood on it lying next to the body of a man who was beaten to death. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I think I figured something out. Yes, what is it? The way the blood is on this, it looks like it matches up with the wound on his head. Well, aren't we deserving of the Master of the Obvious title? Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't you think that's worth investigating? It would appear that this figurine is our murder weapon. Oh, I just knew it. I mean, I can't think of any other connection. Perhaps Master of the Obvious would be more befitting. Oblivious, aw. Aw, she's doing her best. We don't gotta be mean. Let's see here. What else we got? What else we got here? You think these connect? Yeah, I think they would have to connect, yeah? Because it helps, logically, it helps prove that the killer walked out of the elevator. Through the grape juice, as it were. I have it! I'm sorry, but I don't understand, Mr. Edgeworth. I can prove that someone other than myself was here around the time of the murder. Really? Yes. It's rather simple, actually. If you use logic. I always do a weird hand gesture whenever I say logic, just for the record, in case you were wondering why I say it funny. The proof is in the pudding, or rather the grape juice in this case. If there were pudding, I know of someone who would be much more interested. These footsteps here confess to me this very fact. That someone exited the elevator alive. Seeing as how the victim is dead, that would mean a second person. But couldn't the footprints be from Mr. Hicks himself? But if you take a look at our victim's shoes, you can see the soles are spotless. Which means he never walked through the grape juice. Mr. Hicks wasn't alone in the elevator. In fact, it's quite the opposite, whatever. It's obvious that it was the opposite. This, I think, was what my brain was trying to go for. There was actually one other person inside the elevator. And because it looks like there's not even just feet prints. What are those lines? Okay, at least I can look at them closer now. That's good at least. Okay, also, I guess the investigation is complete. Okay. What's going on over there? Wingdinglings! I mean, I know that's not actually wingdings. Unforgivable! This is unforgivable! Do you understand what I am saying? The movie is late. It is the same level of bad as if the plane arrived late. But the movie... What? I will not talk to you anymore. You are just wasting my time. What is the matter, Mr. LeBlanc? If there is no emergency, please return to your seat, sir. Do not tell me what to do. I need not to sit down. I need to yell and point fingers and make wiggle waggles. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, did you prove you are innocent yet? More or less. If you would like, I'll prove my innocence to you right now. What? Nonsense! Are you saying my eyewitness testimony is mistaken? Not mistaken, merely that there is room for doubt. I'd be most honored if you could please tell me what you saw in detail once more. Fine, suit yourself. Lord knows I couldn't suit you, you'd look ridiculous. It's a very silly outfit. All right then, what I saw. I am certain that I saw Mr. Hicks enter that elevator. It was when the needles on my pocket watch pointed to the 6 and the 12. Oh, okay, then does that mean you saw him go in at 6 or at 12? I mean, theoretically? I don't know, either way, it doesn't matter. The body was discovered 15 minutes after that in the lounge, yes? Then, then it could have been... Yeah, because then it would have been like 12:35. There we go. I'm just throwing that idea out there. Then you, the only person in the lounge at the time, must be the criminal. Mr. LeBlanc's conclusions seem to make logical sense. After all, the only person in the lounge at the supposed time of the murder was me. So, my eyewitness testimony. If you think you can destroy it, then come, let me see. Hurry! Do I look like a man who is having the time to wait for you? Why is he so irritated? I'm the one accused of murder here. Anyway, I must find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's account somehow, and fast. All right. Well, it would really super duper ultra mega help me out if, when I say press on this, you could like pry to see, did you not see someone else in there? Or was it just him? Mr. LeBlanc, were you able to get a good look at the inside of the elevator at that time? Of course I saw what was inside. And you're sure that the victim was in the elevator alone? Yes, the only person inside was that Mr. Hicks man. This last outburst is a bit too important to let go. Then we're going to have to make use of that. The only person inside was that Mr. Hicks man, except it couldn't possibly. Check this noise out, you! Ha 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 ha! Smug. Mr. LeBlanc. What is it? There's a very glaring contradiction in your testimony, and my theme music is playing, so you know I'm awesome. What do you mean? Please take a look at the area in front of the elevator. There, at the spilled grape juice. Yes, and? Will you admit you also spilled it with the blood? No, it spilled itself during the turbulence. But the interesting thing here is the set of grape juice footprints. Footprints? Yes, the ones that lead from within the elevator out into the lounge itself. There you go, sorry, getting a little tongue-tied. It's evidence that proves that someone other than Mr. Hicks exited the elevator alive. Arkenbargen! There must have been another person in the elevator with Mr. Hicks. That just makes a whole lot of sense, I dare say. Now then, I'm done playing games. Why don't you tell us the truth? Wing-a-ding-a-ling-ding! Can you please translate for us? Whoa, oh my goodness, hi. Okay, didn't realize that was your outfit. No way, that's totally impossible. I guess is what he said. You're an interpreter? No way, that is totally impossible. I know there was no other person in there. I saw it with my own eyes. If you want to know what I think, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't think Mr. LeBlanc is lying to us. I suppose she's right. He doesn't seem to be lying, which just means he has to be mistaken about something. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. But then, what does it mean? What about this contradiction? Mr. LeBlanc, please, just once more, will you recall the details of what you witnessed for me? He's in the flop sweats! What I saw, part 2, Electric Boogaloo. I was very upset when Mr. Hicks passed by my seat. I was always checking the time, over and over again. I happened to follow that man with my eyes when he passed me, and I saw clearly into the elevator he was entering. But I swear there was no one else inside. No one. Okay. Mr. LeBlanc, if you would please calm down, you look like you might actually have a heart attack. What? Dare you two have an issue with my eyewitness testimonials? No, not at all. Please forget I said anything. Yet again, he doesn't appear to be lying. But I can't let this testimony stand as the truth. Okay. Interesting. Let's see what we can get out of this. All right. What were you... I don't know anything immediately, so... Why were you upset? So are you still upset now? I am always upset! Yeah, he kind of gave that impression. The only time I am not is when I have a piece of art in my hands. It's surprisingly easy to believe that about him. But I was even more upset when Mr. Hicks walked by me. Okay, well, I was kind of wondering why specifically. All right, why were you checking the time constantly? Why were you so attentive to the time? Because something unforgivable was happening. Come to think of it, you were yelling about something unforgivable earlier. I was giving a complaint to the attendant about the movie starting time. Return back to me my time, in money. You understand the point. Movie? Is he talking about the in-flight one that's mentioned in the magazine? Maybe I should take another look-see-loo just to be safe. Okay. Well, the only words that are actually readable here that I imagine would be useful for anything are flight itinerary, meals, drinks, movies, the times, and all times shown correspond to our departure time zone. So, I assume if this is useful for anything, it's one of the things that I just read. Ah, they showed it to us anyway. Very nice. A summary of the plot and the start time. Interesting. They were supposed to show License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder. I cannot see the movie in my country. You can only see it on international flights. I looked forward greatly to that movie. I checked my pocket watch whenever possible so I would not miss it. I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came aboard. Wait, hang on. Correspond to our departure time zone. Okay. But would that matter on the plane itself? So my watch is not wrong. It matched the schedule. But the movie was still late. Very, very late. Your pocket watch. I'd like to ask you a little more about it, if that's all right. That's handy. All right, the movie I wanted to see would not start, so I checked my pocket watch many times. Is that it? So, wait, my watch is set to my destination's time. I always set it when I board the plane. Okay, hang on.
Objection!
I think your watch might be all flibbity-goopy, and therefore not useful to us. Mr. LeBlanc, you said this just now in your testimony. I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came aboard. Now, if your watch has been set to our destination's time zone, it would mean that your watch is displaying the time of our destination. Yes, and the correct time is worth its 6 cents. I would like you to take a look at this. Take a look at this. If you believe this Sky magazine, clocks on this flight run in accordance with the time of our departure time zone, not destination. Of course, the movie schedule is also created with that in mind. Miss Rhoda, for confirmation's sake, what time zone is this flight aligned to right now? Well, we made a short stop at a transfer point. Oh, that's right. It was in that small Asian country, the Republic of Zhengfa. That's probably important. But we didn't readjust our onboard clocks at that time. So right now, we're still running on Borginian time. What? The time difference between Borginia and our destination is 9 hours. In that case, it's only natural that your watch would be out of sync with the schedule. Further, with your analog watch set to our destination's time, it would appear to be running 3 hours fast when compared to the flight's onboard clocks. It also changes everything about your testimony. And you can bet 1,000,000 cents on that. In light of this information, it means you saw Mr. Hicks 3 hours prior at 3 a.m. Imagine being so full of hot air that it knocks you over. They should clear up all of the remaining accusations. I feel pretty good about this. So this basically widens the time frame for the time of death, right? Yes, because Mr. LeBlanc saw the victim enter the elevator at 3 a.m., it means there was 3 hours that anything could have happened, I guess. Although it's a little weird that he disappeared for 3 hours and literally nobody seemed to notice. It means the time of death could be anywhere between 3 to 6:15 a.m. The question now is, where was Mr. Hicks during that span of time, and what was he doing? I've got something to say. Who? And you are? Oh, hello. Yeah, I don't know how buttons work. I'm Chamomile. Chamomile. Chamomile helps you sleep. She's sleepy. I get it. I'm a flight attendant. And what is it you wish to say? Well, I think your story is a little different from how I remember it. What do you mean, Cammy? I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know? What? How can you be so sure of the time? Oh, that's right. He pushed his call button while we're parked at the transfer point. A message from Mr. Iffy, our iFly. Ah, the stop we made for refueling and cargo transfer at Zhengfa, correct? Yeah, it was from 4 to 5 a.m. according to our clocks. I see. And during that time, did any of the passengers leave, or did any new ones board this flight? No. Not a single person got off or on in Zhengfa. What about the flight crew? The few who were handling the cargo transfer might have temporarily gotten on or off. But eventually everyone, including Cammy and myself, came back on the plane. That smile, though. So, basically, I can assume that no one left or got on since our initial takeoff, which is good. Interesting. And I should keep that in mind. That's handy dandy! Yeah, and I answered his call. And I can tell you Mr. Ackby Hicks was there in his seat when he took off again at 5 a.m. All right, that's handy. Thank you. All right, then, that puts the time of the murder between 5 and 6:15. That's significantly better. Okay, now, what time did you come down to the lounge, Mr. Edgeworth? I remember coming down here almost as soon as we left the Republic of Zhengfa. Doggin! You were here the whole time from 5, yes? Then you are the only one who could be the killer. Mr. Edgeworth, were you really here in this lounge the entire time from 5 a.m. onwards? Unfortunately, yes. But then, how do we explain the footprints? It's that not obvious? This man waited for Mr. Hicks here in this lounge, waited to kill him. And then he put the corpse into the elevator. That is when the turbulence happened. My eyewitness testimony may have been mistaken, but what time I saw Mr. Hicks into the elevator on the second floor does not matter, because the entire incident concluded here in this lounge. Everything happened in this lounge? Is that what you really believe, Mr. LeBlanc? Do you have another idea? I simply feel that there is something out of place in the scenario presented. And your flop sweat. Is there something that can tie the crime to the location other than this lounge? Do we? I mean, if it's something I'm holding on to... Oh! Ow! Because this is from the gift shop. The murder weapon, this little piggy bank, is sold at the in-flight shop. It is sold there and only there, and is not displayed here in this lounge. How, then, did it find its way here? Don't you find that a tiny bit suspicious? Huh! Such a trivial point! It only means you prepared at taking it from the shop first before coming here. It doesn't prove you are innocent at all. I mean, yeah, kinda. Is there no way to win with this man? Who's holding it? If I may. What is it? You see, well, it's just as Mr. Edgeworth says. Oh, and why do you know this so well? Well, it's just that piggy bank was there in the shop. I saw it with my own eyes. And when was this? It was maybe around 5:40 a.m.? Isn't that just before we hit that patch of turbulence? That's right. You were in the shop just before the turbulence? Yes, I was. Come to think of it. Miss Rhoda, when I found the body, I believe you came out of that door. Yeah, I did. And what is beyond that door? Well, that's the flight attendant's room. Then you were on the first floor? Yes. I had to do something at the shop and in the flight attendant's room. So I went to the shop first, then to the flight attendant's room. Are you saying you passed by me at some point? Yes, you seemed really into the issue of Sky magazine you were reading at the time. I don't suppose you noticed me walking by. I vaguely recall someone walking by, but I didn't take notice of who it was. You should really be doing that! Anyway, the piggy bank was definitely there at the shop when I went there. Why did you go to the shop in the first place? I went there for a work-related matter. Work, you say? Yes, the upkeep of the shop is also one of my responsibilities. Why did you not say anything about that until now is what I want to know? I mean, that's a fair question. In any case, I believe it's clear that the shop needs to be investigated as well. Shall we head over there then? Now who's holding it? What is it now, you and your big teethy smile? Aren't you forgetting something, Miss Rhoda? Don't you need the captain's permission to check the shop? No, I haven't forgotten. But I've already asked him for permission to search the entire plane. So I think we're all right. Huh? That's weird. What is? Well, I just talked to the Captain C, and he said that he didn't give you permission to do anything like that at all. That's odd. What is the meaning of this, Miss Rhoda? Means she's lying. Go on, admit that you are. You said you had permission to search all over, but you don't. And yet here you are. You, flight attendant, what are you trying to do? Pull the sheep over us? An entire sheep? The captain's calling for you, Miss Rhoda. Oh, but don't worry. I already got permission to search the shop from the captain. See, unlike you, I do things the right way. Miss Rhoda, why would you do such a thing? Please excuse me. Well, this is weird. Looks like I get to be in charge now. Please go back to your seat, Mr. LeBlanc. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you'd follow me, I'll be your guide from now on. There's something about Miss Rhoda that has piqued my curiosity. Mostly the fact that she lied, and I don't entirely understand why she felt the need to. But right now, investigating the in-flight shop is my top priority. And so, we shall. Alright then, let's see here. So, oh, hey, yeah, the gate's even open. That's handy. Broken glass! That's never good. So this is the in-flight shop. It's quite a mess in here. You think? Guess I'll have to clean things up then. Tee-hee. Hold on! You can't clean up a potential crime scene. Oh, thank goodness. I hate cleaning so much. I mustn't rush things here. I must remain cool, calm, and collected. Unlike all my other instances of doing that, I guess. Because this piggy bank was left at the scene of the crime. What's up with that? There's a very good chance the killer had paid this place a visit. Alright, well, let's figure some stuff out, I guess. First things first, I don't really know if talking to you is going to help me much, but I don't know much about this shop. But you can still ask me about whatever. Alright, do you notice anything? So, what do you think about what has happened regarding the case? Oh, I don't know. I guess I think you're the killer, though, Mr. Edgeworth. I can assure you that I'm here in this shop to prove just the opposite. She is asleep. Yeah, but it was me that got you the permission to look around. Sleepy. You know. So don't forget that, okay? How am I supposed to thank you properly if you insist on falling asleep? Well, you know, it'd really show your thanks. You see that item for sale over there? Sorry, but you're going to have to make do with my words of appreciation. That's all y'all get. All right, then. Interesting, interesting. Well, first and foremost, the most obvious thing is all this dang glass. The glass from this display case door is shattered all over the floor. And it looks like there's nothing on display inside either. Wait, actually, I think there is something. What's this? A mini captain's hat? It's a tiny captain's hat. Huh, I swear I've seen one of these before. Oh, hang on, I might be able to logic that up already. Maybe. Let me see something here. Could this be the murder weapon? Okay, and like, I mean, she's carrying around like a version of the thing like in plush form, and it has a hat, but the thing don't got no hat. Are these logically connected? The hat probably used to be on that piggy bank's head. Let's give it a go and see. Magic! I believe this piggy bank was forcibly removed from this display case. Does this mean that the killer broke the glass to get at it? If they broke the glass to get it, wouldn't the glass be on the inside and not the outside? Really? Don't tell me you don't know where things go where in this shop. Well, I don't. This road is in charge of this place. So come on, how should I know anything? I sense that further inspection of the display case is needed. And so we shall! Oh, I don't really have anything on that yet. Hang on. Let's just look silly here. Here we go. Yeah, I don't see any glass in there at all. If you were to, yeah, if you broke the glass, some would end up inside. I mean, some would be outside, maybe, but not all of it. Okay. Surely that's something that we can notice? The glass on this door is broken. Perhaps it was the killer who broke it in order to take the piggy bank. But it's a bit odd that the inside of the case is so devoid of glass shards. Plus, the glass broke rather cleanly. Ah! What is it? I touched the glass and it cut my finger. It hurts, Mr. Edgeworth, it hurts. Please tell me you can deal with such a minor cut on your own. Okay, so I guess what it's trying to get me to do here is deduce that the piggy bank is from this location. Is that what's being asked of me right now? Eureka! I have discovered the obvious! There is definitely something very unusual about this. About what? If the killer had broken the glass to get at the Mr. iFly bank, there should be shards of glass inside the case itself. Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess it'd be like that. However, there's not a single piece of glass inside the display case. Nope, no there isn't. Which means that the glass was broken from the inside out. The piggy bank must have fallen over from the turbulence and right through the glass. Yeah, that's for sure. There's so much glass all over the floor. I'm willing to bet that this hat was knocked off its head at that time, too. That's nice. Which leads me to believe that the killer took the Mr. iFly from here after the turbulence. That would make sense to me. And it's been updated. Neat. And she do be making a big snooze, though. Take your power naps on your own time, Miss Meal, and listen when I'm talking. Ah! But the murder occurred before the turbulence, which rules this piggy bank out as the murder weapon. Oh, yeah, because it only got knocked out because of the turbulence. So then this is a trick murder weapon? So you mean the bank's not the real murder weapon? It's a fake? Yes, at this point, that is a very real possibility. But then what if when the killer went to take Mr. iFly, they broke the glass by accident? The display case is locked, so that's highly unlikely. Yeah, but there's one person who could have. Oh, and who would that be? Miss Rhoda, of course. I mean, she's the one in charge of this place, so she has the keys to everything. You seem to like raising a stink with her quite often, I can't help but note. Miss Rhoda. Alright. I don't think there's much of anything else. Okay. Well, what about this thing here? These look like they're very desperately asking for me to pay attention to them. What are these? Oh, those are our company's completely original line of suitcases. They're practically flying out the door. That's how popular they are. You should buy one to see how you like it. You won't regret it. Perhaps that's how things work on this flight, but in the real world, you try, then buy. No way. Either way, it doesn't really matter. True. Either way, why would anyone buy a suitcase after they've boarded the plane? That just seems impractical. Anyway, see that? Just look at the Mr. iFly heads painted on there. Cute company mascot, isn't he? They're painted on with a lot of care. Doesn't he look like he's about to jump out at you? It is certainly making something jump inside my stomach. That is an unappealing color scheme. I guess there's no fooling your refined tastes. You looked like you really wanted to get one. And I thought I was gonna finally make my first sale, but you saw right through it. Glad that's done, though. Never make me try to give you a sales pitch ever again, okay? But I never showed any interest in it to begin with. It really is pretty horrible, isn't it? Wanna know something? This suitcase was designed by Miss Rhoda. Miss Rhoda designed this? Yeah, it was a company-wide contest. Well, then that means either she's the only one who entered, or literally nobody in this entire organization has the ability to artistically design much of anything. Well, it does have a very sharp design sense. Sharp. Like stinky sharp cheddar, maybe. Don't be hating on cheddar. I really have no idea why the bigwigs decided to go with it. It's so bleh. Miss Rhoda designed this, did she? And it's definitely not what I would have expected. Yeah! Ah! He's freaking out! You okay? I'm fine. Please watch yourself, Miss Meal. Letting a suitcase freely roll around has got to be a safety violation. Interesting. Here, I'll put it back. Okay, well, hang on. I've got questions. Why did that... Hold up. Hold up. Suitcase designed by Miss Rhoda. That's one sharp design. Can I not inspect it more? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Can we talk more, maybe? Don't know much about nothing. About the shop. I cut my finger on those bad pieces of glass. Don't blame the glass for something you did to yourself. Just be more careful. Same to you. You're the one walking all over broken glass. You sure you're okay? I'm fine. Any glass I walk on, I crush. Like this! That's nice. Please be more careful around the display case, okay? Wouldn't want you to get hurt. Compared to the glass around my feet, the inside of the case is nothing to be afraid of. After all, no glass fragments appear to have ended up inside. And I guess even you can tidy up the case, right? Perish the thought! Don't make me do your job, you crazy lady. Okay, huh. So what exactly am I missing here? I thought I knew of at least something to inspect, but I can't think of anything. There are all kinds of luxury name brand merchandise for sale in this display case. They're lined up in such a manner as to scream "buy me" to any passers-by. Oh, okay, maybe if I can't do anything, what I need to do is logic it up in here. All right, let's see. Ah, there we go. That helps. Plane shaking causes it to roll. In-flight suitcases displays can be hazardous. And the turbulence. There we go. that would imply it would have gotten knocked off kilter. Yes, there's definitely something wrong here. What's with the sudden yelling? Tell me, Miss Meal, don't you think there's something strange about these suitcases? Oh, well, sure. They totally ooze strange, like the color and such. That's not what I'm talking about. Now pay attention. You're scaring me, Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah, I can tell by the fear in your face. Sorry. These suitcases are lined up a bit too prim and proper. Yeah, they look a bit uptight, don't they? But I guess they take after their creator. Again, that's not what I meant, Miss Meal. Don't you find it unusual that these cases are the only things undisturbed by the turbulence? Never mind, I'd sooner find an answer by inspecting these suitcases myself. That's what I wanted to do in the first place, thank you very much. Upon closer inspection, they really are quite hideous. I wonder how Miss Rhoda would have reacted if she heard what you just said. What's wrong? She makes a good point. It would be wise of me to watch what I say out loud. Don't want to hurt her feelings. What's this? I spotted something that's not quite right. Ah, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay, so this one rolled, but that one didn't because it has little stoppy thingies. Why does this one not have any stoppy thingies? Everything that is noticeable is something that's important to the story in games like this. There's something very peculiar about these wheels. Huh? As in, there are no stoppers in place on these. Without stoppers, one would think that the turbulence would have sent it flying much like it did mere moments ago. And so it is very likely that the suitcase was placed here after we hit that turbulence. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we? Okay. Let's see. Where do you figure the open thingy is? Oh, that looks like it. Huh. Would appear to be unlocked. Let's take a look at what's inside. That's blood. A piece of cloth. And it's soaked with blood. It's blood. It appears that this suitcase is very strongly... Yo, right, hold up. Because of the liney-doos. That means this case probably got like rolled. It got rolled through the juice and that's what tracked it. There you go. Tried to move the ding-dang body with this thing. It's very strongly tied to our murder after all. Investigation completed. Delightful. So, explain this to me. What does this suitcase have to do with the murder? I believe it's pretty safe to say that the killer used this suitcase in some manner. Such as to move something, perhaps. But aren't you just talking about the cloth, then? That alone is too small. Larger item would be needed to move what I'm thinking of. The whole ass body! The thing I believe the killer used to move this suitcase to be was, the only thing I can think of without posting an entire picture, I guess, would be this thing. This whole dang thing. Something that would fit inside a suitcase that is also covered in blood. Sounds like a dead body, doesn't it? That makes sense to me! I also find it interesting, isn't this the exact same type of, like, material as LeBlanc? It sure looks like it is, at least. Same colors, but in light of this, I'd say that Mr. Hicks was moved into the elevator from someplace else, which means that the murder was committed in an entirely different location. So you're saying that after moving the body into the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase in here and just left it? Exactly. What is it? Nothing. Just that I was thinking about what Miss Rhoda said about coming here for something. That is worth taking note of, yeah. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth? J'accuse! I wanted to give you a bit more time, but I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. I'm very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but the captain feels that he has allowed you ample time. He says that he'd appreciate it if you could wrap it up here and return to your seat. Now, I understand his sentiments. However, if I'm not allowed to complete my investigation, the crime scene may become contaminated by the time we land. If I must stop, then I insist I be allowed to oversee the preservation of the two sites. Under your supervision, of course. Now, if that's your only condition, then I believe we can accommodate your wishes. I'm here to assist you in any way that I can, Mr. Edgeworth. And then she do a bow. Sounds like fun. We can camp out and watch over everything together. I found proof that the real crime scene was not in the lounge. And I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. And yet, regarding what Miss Meal reminded me about Miss Rhoda, I cannot allow my investigation to end here. The truth must come to light. Oh, and you know that truth's gonna be coming to light real fast, real soon. Whew. All right. Good start.